Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Business Over Breakfast,
Yeah.
2 p.m. version. Sorry about that. It was a busy morning. We all had to actually conduct some business over breakfast this morning. So this is a lunchtime version of
I,
Business
you
Over.
know, you know what I just thought of? We can say business over brew. It's just a different kind of brew. And then if we do it after 5 o'clock, we can do business over brew, meaning something different.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Lori, I'm excited. Today we have the one and only. You know what? I think that I can't do it justice. Can you please introduce our guest for us?
I would love to. Okay, so today we are going to jump right into talking about video. And we have a special guest, which is my partner at Visual Thrive, Scott Indermaur, and the owner of Indermaur Media. He's been doing this media storytelling for over 25 years, and he brings a ton of experience for all of us. And so we are going to pick his brain. And if you want to pick his brain, you can put some questions into our Facebook group and we'll get them. And I would say, let's just bring Scott on and start the discussion.
Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you too?
I'm wonderful.
Great.
Thank you. It's good to see you again.
Great.
And so, yeah, you have been. We're talking about video today, but can you tell us a little bit about your background? Because I know that I'm very impressed by it anytime that I hear about it. So, could you please give us a little background on you?
I started as a photojournalist working for newspapers and eventually moved into a photographer focusing on corporate commercial work. And as the years progressed, I got more and more into video. So now it's visual narrative storytelling. So I tell a lot of large corporate stories, clients from IBM to Federal Reserve Bank, and the list goes on. And so so I mix. Sometimes I'm more of a photographer, sometimes I'm more of a videographer. I work with teams of just two of us. I've had teams of 50 people, and to do large commercial ad campaigns to just corporate messaging. So
I love it.
Scott, one of the things that I think is always funny when people talk to you about your decades of work in photography is all the very interesting and well-known people that you've been able to take portraits of. So I'm going to tell a funny story. So one day I was talking to Scott and he said, do you know a guy named Rob Gronkowski? And I was like, yeah, I do. I know. I think a lot of people know who this guy is. He goes, well, I'm going to be following this guy around today in Foxborough. I'm like, oh, you mean Gillette Stadium in Foxborough? Yes, that's a really big deal. So he has this humbleness. But I would love for you to share like some of the other amazing portraits you've been able to take in your career.
I know you really test me on name dropping.
Yeah, I am.
It is true. I mean, there's a lot of well-known people I've photographed that may have never heard of, or it just took me a few minutes to put two and two together. But some of my corporate portraits, from Alan Greenspan to presidents like Clinton and President Obama, and a lot of CEOs, celebrities.
The frontline team is really cool, and
What?
the frontline team at PBS.
Oh, the frontline, yeah. Did all the behind the scenes employees with Frontline for their website. Did nice portraits for them, and I had a wonderful career of around the country and even overseas many times, and met some wonderful people. So
That's incredible. What is it like photographing a president? Were they sitting presidents at the time? Just curious.
No, they were not. So
nice. That's even better.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I just look at people, whether it's President Clinton, or whether it's the office worker. They're just good people. Generally, just connect with them, and sometimes these really more powerful CEO executive types. So you just need to kind of boss them around. That's what they expect. You just gotta say, okay, I need you to look this way. I need you to present yourself this way, and they respect that. And so directing them can be a little bit different than maybe your average office worker. So
I think it's a great lead into how do you see directing in video showing up differently for you when there's action involved in what you need to tell?
So yeah, I always like the candid look. I don't like people, like, let's say with photographs, posing them. I want you to hold this coffee and pretend you're drinking it. Like, no, I want you to grab this coffee and actually go through the motions of drinking it. And I think same with the video too, is I go with more the candidness of going through the motions and make it look real, not say, okay, I need you to take 3 steps forward. Okay, let's do that again. And go, no, let's walk through the room and have a dialogue as you go through the room. So I really focus on showing that the true self, and not too made up.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because, one of the most, and I know that you guys both do this a lot with Visual Thrive and the behind the scenes stuff that you preach to all of your businesses, but the authenticity of, like when you're taking these photos or doing these videos, you want whatever the brand is or the subject, whatever the person is, to come off as authentic, and like it really shows in your photography and your videography that I've seen. Just the capturing of these real moments with people, and it's so much better than the posed shot or the overly scripted stuff. So you do a wonderful job with that.
Oh, thank you. I really work hard on that. Is like when I'm at a scene, I was just looking at some photos I took less than a year ago with firefighters, and I might go in there and say, oh, visually it would look great if you grab this hose and pull it out with the right hand, and then use that tool that way. But then I always have to take a step back and say, how do you actually use this tool? Because what I visualize could be like, they're like, we never do it that way. And then so a lot of times I'll ask people, like, can you just like use this tool or do this action, and let me just watch, let me observe for a minute. And it tells me a lot. And because coming from someone who doesn't know about that, what they're doing, just to give me that extra 60 seconds to watch it through the steps makes it more real.
I think that too, when people are either in front of a video camera or a photo camera, there's this level of self-consciousness that comes along with it. And so when you can kind of ask the questions and instill a little bit of pride and confidence in the work that person is doing, I don't know, but it seems like it comes across a little bit easier for them. So then like around the authenticity, it's like it really comes through, like they're just in their element. They get to say, like, this is how I use this is what we do with it here.
Definitely.
I think we saw that too when we do the business stories.
Yeah. So you just made a video that I believe is going to be a series of videos for Rhode Island, for the Shop Local Rhode Island site that you guys created, about Rhode Island businesses and how they are adapting and being affected by the pandemic. How has the videography changed right now with COVID? How is that going? And then has it changed at all? Like, and obviously it probably did more so a couple months ago than it is right now. But how has that changed? And then how important has it been for you guys to be able to do this thing and give this megaphone to these businesses to go out and tell their stories?
Well, the whole Shop Local Rhode Island small business video series we started releasing is a comes down to a passion I've always had since I was in grade school, small businesses and entrepreneurship. And what I've learned the last couple months is creating a production in the pandemic is a little bit different now, and things are always shifting. And I always make it clear to my crew and to the subjects that if any time you don't feel comfortable, take a step back and let's speak. And so obviously we have hand sanitizer, masks, and everyone wears masks. And then when the subject is ready to speak, we have them take it off. But there's one instance where they wanted to portray themselves wearing a mask, so we have to be conscious of that too. And so creating these stories with small businesses, how they shifted in a difficult time and how it became a positive shift, was just wonderful to be able to create these videos and share their stories with other business people that may inspire them to shift also and shift and just learn from other businesses' experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would ask you, Ben, so how has we've been interviewing businesses, and the expectation is that most businesses are in a pickle, let's say. And so but we've also seen that some businesses lend themselves to really being a resource for availability and access during this time too. So we are looking, we're actually reviewing a video right now where the business was like, it's amazing, we're operating on all cylinders because what we deliver is really needed right now. And so I would ask you, like, have you experienced kind of the positives side from a business perspective with respect to the way you create video?
Yes. So I have been, so we were like podcast creators and videographers, not to the level of Scott, before the pandemic. And then, but one of the main things, and I think I've said a version of this many times, but our podcast hosts had started locally, but then moved to Florida and now all over the world, and that's been really nice because it kind of forced us to use Zoom in the way that people use Zoom now 3 years ago, and then we so we did all of that stuff. So then it kind of transferred into, we were doing video series for businesses, taking the microphones and the cameras and everything that you do out to these local businesses. And it was a lot of work with the post-production and all of that stuff to do that. To film one 30-minute interview series took, I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours of worth of work. And now, I do 30 of these every single week. And it's different, but the benefits are incredible. And so because of that, we have been nonstop to the point where I had to like kind of slow the brakes and go like no more at the moment until, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So it's been weird. There hasn't been a single thing that was terrible business-wise. I am one of the extremely lucky, very few, but there hasn't been a single negative business-wise for me from the pandemic, because of everything, because of this, and something that I think that we did and that you guys did, which was huge, was we had this ability to help people. So we stood up and said, let's help, let's help tell these stories. Let's help. The work that you guys have done creating Shop Local Rhode Island is literally crazy. To put that many businesses together and to give that many businesses a web presence that never had it before is just truly an amazing thing that you guys have done for the state. So
Well, and I would say, yeah, still highly underutilized. I mean,
yes,
the traffic on the website was initially really high, and I think that was when we were in a much more critical position. But I do hope that over the next few months, as people start to think about shopping for the holidays or really coming into another second wave, as is predicted, that this could become more utilized. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff there. And once we, so thinking on from the video perspective, we have our initial opening video there, but we also are working on 4 more videos to get up there. And our, best intentions, right? We thought every week we're going to edit and put up a beautiful video, and then we just get crazy. And so we are behind right now in trying to keep that going. And one of the cool reasons, Scott, I'll kind of turn it to you, is what very cool video project you just came back from, which is one of the reasons we're a little late on our Shop Local videos. But that project is really cool. So I'd love for you to share
please
that.
talk about this. Following your journey was amazing.
Yeah.
The whole journey. So a client of ours, Visual Thrive, is prairiefood.com. And they wanted me to interview videos and photography of the farmers they're working with the successes they've been having using Prairie Food that has increased their yield and their harvest. It's harvest time right now in the Midwest. So I had fly into Denver, and we're in a car shooting Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, and then fly out of Kansas City to come home. And about a week before, I realized, gosh, I really want to do this from an Airstream. It's been a bucket list of mine for many years. And I called the client, and we reversed the project. We started in Kansas City and ended in Denver, and then I drove home. And I did it all from an Airstream, 2 weeks on the road, 4,500 miles. It was terrific. We told some wonderful stories, met some great people out in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska and Kansas and Colorado, and told their story. And we're just starting those videos right now in post-production.
And I think it really saved, that you were thinking, oh, that means airplanes, renting cars, going in and out of hotels, lugging your equipment around, as opposed to creating like a really safe space for yourself to then go onto all these gigantic farms. These farms are like 10,000 acres, 400 acres. This is stuff we just don't really get to see in the Northeast. But I think, I don't know for sure, but the opportunity to kind of set up the equipment right on site, right out of the Airstream, and get some really amazing, firsthand knowledge about what's happening on these farms and why the farms are turning to organic soil amendments, and why the farms are choosing something that's going to give them carbon credits and allow them to produce better, cleaner, nutrient-dense food. I mean, it's such a cool thing because it's so the heart of America, the farm community. And they've really, unfortunately, they've kind of been taken over with synthetics and chemicals, and we're going to change that.
Scott, is there is there a favorite project that you've ever worked on, something that you always think about and just brings a smile to your face that you've done?
This Prairie Food thing is definitely one of the top. And not only because of the Airstream, but just the whole journey of telling these stories, and from being able to bring all my equipment and being isolated in my Airstream and different town every night. I think one assignment I look forward to every year is with Federal Home Loan Bank, and they give the the Midwest Federal Home Loan Bank, based in Topeka, Kansas, gives out an award every year, a community leadership award to a bank. And one of their states is Nebraska, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And every year we go out there and we tell these wonderful community stories about the importance for community to have a community bank. And we tell you stories about the community and about the bank, and I just love that storytelling. It's from the small businesses to the first time homeowners, and it's I love that type of storytelling. Yeah, so
That's awesome.
Yeah, that it does like create such a foundation in any community, this idea of community bank and small business. And, it's something I think that in the United States, we're longing for that a little bit more than normal.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And also, Scott, what I love about it is both of those things that you just talked about. They're stories that don't get told very often. And the fact that that these organizations are able to use your immense talents to tell these stories is really beautiful. What drew you to wanting to tell stories through these visual mediums?
I think it was in college. I mean, even in high school, I was really interested in photography, and then in college, I took a photojournalism class and really enjoyed the storytelling part of that, and working for newspapers and the action around that, and how stories are always changing, and then I got more into the corporate world, more contrived, I guess you could say, but I feel like I've gone full circle now back to what drove me into this industry is the storytelling, the journalistic perspective, and why I love social media, narrative storytelling on social media, and whether it's for commercial uses, for a billboard, or whether it's for your everyday small business telling their customers via Instagram their story. I'm always fascinated with that, because there's lots of stories out there. There's so many different stories out there.
Yeah,
there really are. Yeah.
We play a game on like when you look at the front page of someone's Instagram, and I think, Ben, we've talked about this before, where we play a guessing game, like, okay, what do you think this person's business is? And because all the visuals that any business puts up is what they're reflecting back, right? And so we look at some businesses and it's kind of like, I don't know what these people do, so we know that, oh, there's a branding issue there. But it is kind of fun to see when a business does it well, that you can actually see what their day-to-day life is like within the business and what they actually do within the community.
Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of stuff like that, you guys created sort of a DIY situation for businesses, for social media, using Scott's photography. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that has entailed?
Oh, well, I mean, so I got years and years of phone photography, mostly nature. I love to do. I think the business side, it's always working with people and telling stories around businesses and people. But personally, I love just taking nature pictures with my phone, and from my hikes to camping to boating. So I got years of just wonderful pictures from around the world. And then Lori came up with this idea of doing a DIY using my photography and her writing. So she can dive into that.
Yeah, well, I'm in the coaching world, and so I see that this idea for people to want to be on social media but also create something that's really good looking. And so some people like to put quotes up, so we offer it with a quote that's already on the photo and we design it, or we offer them blank, so people can purchase 30 photos that have some nice frames, and and then they can do their own writing, and their writing can be like, we're having a sale today, or a special quote. But we're going to continue that into a bunch of different other realms outside of nature, so that we can continue to support anybody that wants to tell a story on social media in whatever way they want. So yeah, that's kind of how it came together. Just making it easy, like, here's the stuff.
Yeah, because part of the whole thing with making social media is making it as easy as possible. When you have too many channels, or you're getting, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and getting started, we always just work with one channel. And the other thing is getting visuals. Maybe you don't care to take photos, or maybe you're just not motivated, and so you're looking for photography that matches your brand, your messaging. And we create the DIY. It's all pre-packaged, and you can add your text or use the quotes we've added, and put it into your feed, and supplement that with what you normally post too. So
I think one of the things that we talked about was kind of, photographers all like to do certain personal projects, photos that they like particularly. And so we always put a call out to photographers to say, hey, if you want to create this, we can make it look really nice and put it out there, and have that become a part of what we do, or we create a partnership with other photographers that maybe photograph, I don't know, like weird contemporary statues or something. As long as it's available to like sell as a package, then we love to be able to put that together. I think one of the things that we're really good at is just when people come to our business, we have all this amazing experience, so we can figure it out within budget and make cool things for people.
Yeah.
You
definitely have a wealth of experience, and you also definitely make cool things. Figure out how to make cool things for people. That's always really exciting to see. Scott, do you have any advice that you could give for young videographers or photographers who might be interested in following your footsteps?
Take lots of pictures, lots of videos. Definitely find someone you can partner up with and assist them and learn from them, and get involved with the community with other professional videographers and photographers, and just surround yourself with all that wealth of knowledge. And I think assisting a production company, whether it's photography or video, is a steep learn. You learn so much in so little time, and I love having assistants come on board, and I can help them out and teach them everything from how to light to even business questions. So
I love it.
Scott, can you just name a few of those organizations that you know about that maybe people are thinking about looking into to get more information?
I think ASMP's, I've been a member for 25 years or so, and they have a strong New England chapter based in Boston. So American Society for Media Photographers, ASMP, I definitely recommend them. It's probably the only one I've been following lately. So
Yeah.
Maybe Ben's got some video ones he knows of, but
not really. I don't. So that's good. I'm going to pass that on to some friends. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. So obviously, Scott, you and Lori are partners at Visual Thrive. You also have Indermaur Media. How can people contact you if they want to get a hold of you and work with you?
You're Scott at indermaurmedia.com, or it's Scott at visualthrive.com. So those are the two. Just drop me an email, and I'd be happy to answer your questions or talk to you about any projects you have.
Awesome. And Lori, normally I would take the guest off and then we would talk and stuff for a second.
Yeah, that's okay.
Why bother when the guest is Emily. So
Well, I put out the request every time for both Ben and I is if you are a small business, if you want to talk about the cool things that you do in your business, or if you just want to chat about your business and what you do, like reach out to us, because we love to just get everybody involved and share the wealth.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, if you have a small business, please check out shoplocalrhodeisland.com.
Yeah, you can sign up for free.
Yep. And check out visualthrive.com so that you can check out both of these wonderful human beings. And
Ben, I have one last question.
Yeah.
How's your new website coming?
I have a meeting today with the person. She has been waiting for me to just send her like 2 more pictures and sign off on some things.
Okay.
I haven't done it.
All right, we're going to be accountability next week.
Thank you. So yes. She's been so mad at me for weeks that I haven't given her the stuff to finish it. Because I constantly am not thinking about what I'm doing for me anymore. So that's yeah, but that's thank you for the reminder as always, Lori. And Scott. Oh, by the way, guys, this episode is the first episode of Business Over Breakfast that is airing live on the Visual Thrive YouTube channel. Check out the Visual Thrive YouTube channel for all of for these and for all of Scott and Lori's wonderful creations over there. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. See ya.
Have a great afternoon.
You too.